Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen news, looking at updates to the Star Citizen Alpha 3.17 PTU and the state of that PTU. Where are we with it? What's going on with it? When are we going to get a live build or an open PTU? And we also had some sneaky peeks on Sandy's Twitter as she looks at the Mercury Star Runner derelicts. They're going to make their way into game as points of interest and potentially as salvage sites. You'll see missions linked to them, but they're being worked on at the same time by the Montreal studio along with the 600i and the Reclaimer Rex. So I'm hoping that we see all of these in Alpha 3.18. It will be interesting to see what can be salvaged in the first iteration of that patch as well. Will it only be specific points of interest or ships, or is it just going to be any ship that's crashed whatsoever? I suspect I will hope for more, but expect less. That seems reasonable. It's Star Citizen. We had a Star Citizen Alpha 3.17 N and O PTU patch as well. So let's take a look at where these patches have taken us. So the N patch fixed a couple of bugs and started to address asset streaming issues that have plagued the patch with elevators, AI, and ships. Target shield status should now display correctly on multifunction displays. Upon completing a transaction, the Starfarer refueling kiosk should no longer reset the order total to 0 on the confirmation screen. Shop terminal buy and sell buttons should no longer cease to function after buying or selling multiple items. We then had the O patch, which went a bit further, updating most shopping terminals to include item paging. The Hull A should now be available for owners to try the ship as well, so if you own a Hull A, you should be able to spawn it in the PTU. Cloud Imperium do want feedback on it, so try it out with some cargo runs and familiarise yourself with the ins and outs of that little hauler. Along with that, they also fixed a load of things. Target shield status will now stop updating on MFDs when the target is beyond 8 kilometers away. They reverted the turret acceleration changes. Player armor should no longer go missing after rapidly equipping it. Large hangars should no longer be missing collisions. Players should no longer be blocked from purchasing items from shopping terminals. The Starfarer external tanks should now have fuel in their persisting. Cutlass Blacks should now be able to scan for surface mining deposits. Between those two patches, there were 8 client crashes that were fixed, and clients should no longer crash when targeting other ships, which means, you can fight things. They fixed a server crash and a server deadlock as well. So this leaves the patch with 13 highlighted known issues, which is 3 more, actually, and different ones from when we last talked about it. So it hasn't picked up more bugs necessarily, it's just that these ones have now been identified and highlighted. So these are custom mobiGlas casings break mobiGlas functionality. Turret acceleration changes have been reverted back to pre-3.17 while they work on rebalancing, and they're going to come back in a future release. The player is unable to place the mining gadget on a mineable rock, which is annoying because that's one of the main features of 3.17. Starfarer boom arm is not repaired if it is destroyed, so it gets destroyed, you try and repair it, doesn't work. Players cannot buy components directly into ship storage, that's going to be coming later in the PTU cycle though. AI markers are present when opening the mobiGlas, which can make it hard to read. Ships can explode after a player exits them, which is not ideal. Many mineable asteroids can't be scanned. While docked to a Starfarer, the Valkyrie will continuously tilt instead of remaining stationary. Lobby and pad and hangar elevators in space stations pass through areas that cause players to suffocate while not wearing a helmet. The refinery yield bonuses are incredibly high, and not so much a bug as maybe an unintended side effect. Unable to interact with mining attachments for the multi-tools in some cases. Players with positive health can enter a state similar to being downed, but without the incapacitated UI or VFX. So, what's the state of the patch then? Well, it's a mixed bag at the moment. A lot better and less unstable than when we first had the PTU, admittedly, but it's a few days away, at least, from being a wider PTU in my option. Sort of at the earliest, end of next week would be the earliest I would expect to see, like, Wave 2 and PTU, in my opinion. There are a few changes and oddities as well. So the shaders folder now appears in username, app data, local Star Citizen, rather than its original sort of Star Citizen folder in the actual where you've installed Star Citizen. So this has caused a little bit of unrest from people wanting it back where it originally was, so they can easily manually delete that shaders folder, that user folder. Players get used to deleting this folder because the old shaders folders cause issues when you update the game. It's a commonly known issue that if you don't delete your shaders folder when you get a new patch, that it can cause some issues. But from the looks of it, it looks like Cloud Imperium are starting to put that user folder there, that shaders folder there, as they can then have it as an automated process in the near future, so that it will sort of like automatically delete your shaders folder or update it more readily and more properly without issue. That's what it looks like. That said, what if your shader folder then goes onto a slower hard drive? But there's lots of conversation going on about this at the moment. I suspect that Cloud Imperium will have a streamlined, sensible option in the future that is less fiddly than it is now. So I would like to not have to worry about deleting my shaders folder, because sometimes I forget, and sometimes I have problems in the persistent universe or when testing a patch going, why is this broken? Why am I getting these errors? And it's typically because I've forgotten to do that. Beyond that, some of the known issues really make the game prohibitive to play at the moment. It is a PTU patch. It is very much a test patch, and they did say it is unstable, and it is a lot better than it was, but also ship spawning and ASOPs, they're working erratically. Missions and ships just not spawning isn't great either. The streaming issues with this patch, and streaming in of assets and the slow streaming in of that, they seem to be causing the most issues. That said, you can have a great experience if you don't encounter these intermittent bugs, and you can avoid or lock your way through them. There's a load of content to test in 3.17, but if you can't get to it, if your elevator doesn't spawn, if you can't spawn your ship, if you get infinite loading screens, it's not great. You can't play the game. It's just not in a mainstream playable state yet. There's a few other things I noticed as well. The portable purchasable loot boxes have been removed. Hopefully they'll come back in the future, at least in some form. I know that Cloud Imperium want us to actually use trolleys. They want us to use storage boxes to move things around, rather than just always selling it out of your backpack, I believe. But it'll be interesting to see what solutions they come up with here. It's going to be, in my opinion, at least a couple of weeks for a live build, and that's if everything goes well on the bug fixing front. They have made massive improvements, but there is a long way to go yet. Cloud Imperium are going to want 3.17 in a pretty good state, as it's part of the Fleet Week cycle 3.17. That said, there's almost certainly going to be a 3.17.1 patch coming out when Fleet Week sort of starts at the end of May. Once 3.17 does go to a wider PTU, Wave 2, Open PTU, that sort of jazz, get involved if you haven't already got access, because your test data, your feedback does help push the patch into the live build. It helps Cloud Imperium fix it, it helps get balance that is sorely needed for that patch, and it helps stress test and all that sort of jazz as well. But boom, that's it for your 3.17 State of the PTU and a little news update. But what do you think? Are you playing Star Citizen 3.17 Wave 1 PTU at the moment? What's your experience of that so far? Has it been hellish? Has it been fun? Has it been a mixed bag? Are you waiting for Open PTU or the live build? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. I was feeling tired and sluggish. I found out that I was allergic to adverts and malware in 2022, which means I can't use the internet. If only there was a service that could help. Wait! There is! NordVPN.com/BoredGamer! It's NordVPN that I use, and it blasts away a load of my advert and malware-based concerns, while allowing me to freely explore the internet. Maybe I want to be in the USA today, and pretend that I'm an American. What's this? Now I'm down under in the Australias? Wait, now I'm in the UK. Okay, I live there. That is less impressive. NordVPN has done so much for me. Sign up with the links below, or go to NordVPN.com/BoredGamer. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For April 2022, we're giving away an Origin 400i. It's a luxury exploration and touring ship, which will be great for a small crew wishing to explore the stars, or try out a multitude of other gameplay. It's like a little yacht in space, a little piece of luxury. All you need to do to be in for a chance to win that is comment on any of my videos made during April 2022. More details in the description below. If you wish to further support the channel, consider clicking the join button under my videos to become a channel member, or even become a Patreon. That goes a massive way in helping with our day-to-day videos, and gives you a variety of little exclusives as well. But it should just make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. Join today! Thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment if so inclined, and I'll see you in the verse.